Hello everyone! It's the end of October, so it is time to play my TBR game again for November. So first of all, I will update you on how I did last month. These were the 5 books that were on my TBR. Now I am going to do an end of the month wrap up coming up in the beginning of November, so I'm not going to give you my ratings on these, but I'm going to let you know how I did with them. So I did finish The Curse of the Pharaohs by Elizabeth Peters. That was one of them. I unfortunately did not get to The Pale Horseman by Bernard Cornwell, so I am going to, if I can, try to fit this one into a prompt for this month because I really do want to read that one. I finished The Moon of the Crusted Snow by Waubgeshig Grace, and little spoiler, this was a very good book. And I am halfway through When the Going Gets Tough by Dr. Dave Perrin. I should be able to finish this one by the end of the month. And I am also halfway through A Corruption of Blood by Ambrose Parry, which I should also be able to finish by the end of the month because I'm going to do a bunch more reading tonight and then I have tomorrow as well. So, because I didn't finish all 5 of the books, I don't get to pick a reward card for the start of this month. But that's all right. We will continue on. As you can see, my little Eeyore is still here, where he was last time. So if you're not familiar with my rules, I'll link to the previous video where I explained everything. But I get 5 rolls, and I have to try and move around the game board. There's ladders to go up and chutes to go down. And I have, if I go down a chute, I have to pick another prompt card, and so that'll add an extra book to things. It's another roll, basically. And I think that's everything I need to tell you. There's cards for each color, and I'm using a 6-sided die. And let's see how it goes. Let's start with roll number 1. So I got myself a bigger dice to use. So let's do roll number 1. A 1. Oh, yay. Okay, let's go move 1. That puts us on a green square. That is our Binky card, so that's a game card. Okay, so 1 is a Binky card, and like I explained before, Binkies are when a bunny goes running across the room and kicks his feet in the air, and so that's why it's kind of like a game type card. So this should be some kind of fun way of choosing a book. So, whoop, I'm dropping them. Okay, so shuffling them, and now I'm going to split the deck, and we have this one. Hey Raven, are you helping? Okay, so I'll let you see it first. Hopefully that focuses. So it says, scroll through the art folder on my phone and choose a book based on the artwork. What I did is I created a folder of pictures, and the folder is just full of pictures by famous artists, also some of my own artwork, that sort of thing. So I'm going to, I'll put a screenshot of it, but I'm going to go to the folder. I'm going to close my eyes, randomly scroll. I'm going to probably scroll down, scroll up, scroll all over the place, and then pick a photo. And that photo has to inspire my book. Okay, so I have my folder. It's got 78 pictures of various artwork, and I am going to close my eyes and scroll up and down and see what I get. So, and I'm going to pick, and I got, oops, bring it up. Oh, I see. That's an interesting looking picture. So I'll show it to you guys here, but you'll also see it elsewhere. Oh, let's go over here. Anyway, so that to me looks like there's a kid standing there. There's a guy with a hood on. There's like an old church in the background. Looks kind of medieval. Looks like the kid is holding like a halter thing. You know what? This one looks medieval enough inspired that I think I could get away with, putting the Pale Horseman back onto this month's TBR, because I really do want to read this one, and it is set in the Anglo-Saxon and Norse periods. It has a it deals with war and with horses and with religious characters, and that guy in there looks kind of like a religious character. And yeah, so I am going to choose the Pale Horseman. So once again, I'll tell you about this one. This is the second book in the Uhtred of Bebbanburg series by Bernard Cornwell. The first one was The Last Kingdom. This one is the second one. It starts, I believe, where the last one left off, where Uhtred is a young adult now. I think the last one he was like 19 or 20. So this should pick up kind of where that one left off. And when Uhtred was a young boy, he was 10 years old. He was from Northumbria, and his father was involved in a war against the Danes. During the battle, his father gets killed, and he sees it happen, and he goes and he starts trying to fight with one of the Danish Vikings. And the guy sees the spirit in him, and so instead of killing him, he captures him. So he ends up getting raised by Danish Vikings. Then through the various things that happen in the first book, he gets involved with King Alfred of Wessex, who is the king of the last kingdom that was standing against the Danes during that period. So this book continues following Uhtred's story. It says on the back that Uhtred is a Saxon, cheated of his inheritance, adrift in a world of fire and treachery. He has to make a choice whether to fight for the Vikings who raised him or King Alfred who dislikes him. So I'm not going to tell you too much since it's the second book in a series, but I am going to pick that one. We are ready for roll number 2. Okay, so I've got my dice here again. Let's do this. Oops, let's try and actually get it in the thing. Ooh, a 6. That's a bit better than a 1. Okay, let's go see where that puts us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts us, oops, sorry guys. That puts us on a yellow square. So yellow is my clover cards. So those have to do with things like the cover and things about the book, I believe. I can't always remember because they're kind of all just all over the place as to what's in each card, but I tried to sort of. Clover is kind of like a play on cover, so let's just see what we get. Okay, so I'm going to cut the deck and choose a card. Show it to you guys first. Okay. Choose a book at the library based on its cover only. Okay, that one is going to be a little tougher because I'm going to have to do it online because I don't have a chance to go to the library here in the next couple of days. So I will take a scroll through some of the books on our online library and just pick something based on the cover. So I scrolled through my phone, which you'll be seeing over here right now. I went to the library website and I just scrolled through some of their new acquisitions because I thought that was a decent way to do it. And I happened to see one that caught my eye because it had a dragon on the cover. And I kept scrolling and just looked at the next page. And then I was like, you know what? I think that one that caught my eye, which just based on the cover, had a dragon on the front. That one looked really interesting. So I went back and I looked a little closer at the cover and I discovered that it is in fact, which when I was scrolling through, I saw the author's name and it looked like a Korean name. And I was like, that is, because I saw underneath now, then it says it was translated by Anton Her. And Anton Her is the translator of a couple of other books, Korean books that I've read. And since one of my goals this year was to read more translated books, I thought I would go ahead and pick that book, because that will also go towards me reading more translated books. It looks like it's a fantasy. I'm just going to find it here. So the book is called Blood of the Old Kings by Sung-il Kim, translated by Anton Her. And according to Goodreads, it begins an epic adventure in which three strangers journey through a vast empire that uses the power of dead wizards to conquer and subdue. From award-winning author Sung-il Kim and translated by the highly acclaimed Anton Her. So that's the book that I'm going to pick based on its cover only. So I don't really know anything about it yet. When it gets here, I will figure that out. We are ready for roll number 3. Okay, roll number 3. 6 again. Okay, well, let's go move 6. We're going to miss the last shoot, so that's good. Gotta inch my way over here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a pink card. So let's see what that is. So a pink card is our Bun Venture cards. So Bun Ventures, those ones are ones that have to do with the plot and things like that. Plot, setting, going on a bun venture to a location. So let's just shuffle them up, cut the deck, pick one, show you guys. Hopefully it focuses. Choose a book with an LGBTQ plus main character. Well, this actually comes at the perfect time because I just got word that the library shipped my the copy that I had put on reserve of the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and it is the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea. And I have been looking forward to this book ever since I heard that it was coming out. And so months before, it came out in September, I believe. And a couple months before, I was able to put a hold on the copies that our library was getting. And I just got word that one of them shipped to me. So I am very excited about that. And the main characters are LGBTQ+. So Somewhere Beyond the Sea is the sequel to House in the Cerulean Sea. A magical house, a secret past, a summons that could change everything. So this one here, it looks like it's told more from the point of view of Arthur. So he's the master of the strange orphanage on the peculiar island and hopes to soon be the adoptive father to 6 dangerous and magical children who live there. So I'm not going to tell you too much more because this is a sequel as well. But rest assured, I am very much looking forward to reading that one. And that perfectly fits the prompt. So let's do roll number 4. Okay, let's roll this dice. Get it bounced around good. 2. So we are going 1, 2. That's a brown one again, or a brown one. Brown is my Mr. Bund cards. So that has to do with character and stuff. So let's pick a card. If that starts shaking, it's because Oscar is kissing it. Okay, so brown is the Mr. Bund cards, which have to do with things like character. And I also think it has to do, I think it might be some author stuff. I can't remember. They're all over the place. But people anyways, people. So let's shuffle, cut the deck, pick a card, show you guys. Ooh, finish a trilogy. So I put this one in there because I have a terrible habit of reading the first book in a trilogy and then not continuing it. So the only problem with this card is if I have a book that I've read the first 2 in the trilogy, I can read 1, finish the 3rd. if I have a trilogy, if all I have is trilogies that I've only read the first book in, then I have to put 2 books on my TBR and finish the trilogy, try and finish the trilogy this month. So I'm going to go to my office, or my library, see what I have in there for trilogies. I have a feeling I know what I'm going to pick, and it's probably going to end up being 2 books. But I've been wanting to finish this one for ages, so we shall see. I'll be right back. I'm actually kind of in luck because rather than having to read 2 big books, which was what it was looking like, I remembered that I only have one left in the Aaron Falk trilogy by Jane Harper, and that is called The Exiles. And I don't have it with me right now because my sister's in the process of reading it, but she's just about done. So I will put that one on my TBR. The series follows it takes place in Australia, and it follows a government agent named Aaron Falk. He works in the financial crimes unit. And in the first book, he goes back to his hometown to the funeral of the guy who was his best friend in high school. And he ends up staying around to try and figure out what actually happened because his friend killed his wife and child. So that's the first book. And then in the second book, he is searching for a missing woman who is who's an informant of theirs, but she's gone missing on this corporate retreat. So that's the second one. And then the third one, I can't remember exactly what it's about, but I don't want to give away too much anyways, but it's Aaron again. And I believe he's going to a friend's for some kind of a big celebration, and it has something to do with a woman who's gone missing and her child is still there, and so he gets involved in solving that. But she has said that is going to be just a trilogy, so that is the third book in the series. And I love Aaron. He's one of my favorite characters in the last little while, and Jane Harper is one of my new favorite authors. So I am going to put Exiles on my TBR for the month. All right, so we now have to do roll number 5, the final one. Oscar, are you going to help me do my roll now that you're laying here on my stuff? Are you going to help? Okay, here we go. Got my dice, roll it around in my hand. 4. Okay, so let's see where 4 puts us. Oscar, I already rolled it. I'm going to take that. Okay, let's move our little Eeyore. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is blue. That is a pellet card, and I will pick one of those. I have my little pellet cards. So let's see what these give me for a prompt. Shuffle them up, pick a card, show it to you guys. Hopefully that's focused. Choose a fantasy. Okay, choose a fantasy. Let me think. I'm going to go have a look in my library and see what I have there for fantasy. I'm not a huge fantasy reader, but I do have a few that I would like to read. I'm already going to be reading one fantasy because that Korean one is a fantasy. Let me go and have a look. So I tossed around a couple ideas. The first one that I was thinking about grabbing is another Japanese translation. It's one I bought called I Am Cat. And it's told from the point of view of the cat, so I thought it would qualify as fantasy. But I didn't really feel like that went with the spirit of the prompt, because the prompt is to try and get me to read actual fantasy, whereas that one I believe is more of kind of a literary fiction, a take on life sort of thing. But then I remembered that I had recently picked up the 3 books in the Farseer trilogy. This is by Robin Hobb. This one's Assassin's Apprentice, which is the first book in the series. And my sister recently read these and said that they were really good and she thinks I would enjoy them. So this one, it is the beginning of the story about the main character whose name is Fitz. And Fitz is a bastard son of the crown prince. And because he's a bastard son, he gets sent to the castle stables where he's raised in the company of the king's fool. And he ends up with an unusual affinity with animals. And in order to be useful to the crown, he gets trained as an assassin and to use the traditional magic of the Farseer family. So it's a much beloved series, so I'm really looking forward to trying it. So those 5 books then are my TBR, and I'm on the last row to go and get my free book, but I do have one more shoot to get by next month. So I guess what that means is that my TBR, I have the Bernard Cornwell, The Pale Horseman. I have The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I have Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune. That's coming in at the library. I have The Blood of Old Kings by Song Il Kim and translated by Anton Hur. And then I have Exiles by Jane Harper to finish off a trilogy. So those 5 books will be on my November TBR, and hopefully I will get them all done so that I will be able to pull a reward card for December. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if you've read any of these books and if you think I'm going to like them or not. And if you play a TBR game like this, let me know too, because I would love to watch yours. You can let me know about it. So I will see you guys soon on my roundup for October, when I will let you know what I actually thought of the books that I read in October. Bye.